I am testing every set of acrylic paint pens so that you don't have to waste your money on the bad ones, and today we are testing the biggest set of paint pens that I have ever seen. This is the 240 pack of brush tip acrylic pens from Linguo, or however you pronounce that. Now maybe if you weren't mentally ill you wouldn't care about this, but I find the fact that they did not only not put these in corresponding rainbow order, but not in any order that corresponds to the swatch sheet infuriating. Okay, I mean it's actually not that serious, but like why would they do that? But in better news, I will say that the carrying case these markers come in is top tier. It has these individual removable plastic cases that hold rows of pens, and overall, I think it's really solid. A couple things I noticed as I was swatching these pens. This isn't true for all of the pens, but a fair amount of the pens, the color on the tip is pretty different from the color that actually comes out. I didn't experience this with any other set, but there was also a fair amount of splattering when I would pull the caps off. And weirdly enough, as I started getting into the grays, I noticed a lot of them were separating and would have a lot of this like yellow buildup inside of the tip. I don't know why it was the grays specifically, but it makes me worry if you didn't use these for a long time that this would happen to more of the pens. Additionally, one of my pens came completely dried out. I'm not sure if the cap just wasn't fully on or what happened here. I've never seen this in any of the other sets we've tested so far, but interestingly enough, they actually include spare pen tips. I'm not sure if this is just a nice add-on or if it's because this is like a reoccurring problem when they send these pens out. However, after letting the ink absorb into the new tip, it did end up working, so I guess that's a plus. As you would expect with 240 colors, the color range itself is amazing. I really have no notes here. It even came with metallic gold and silver, which you guys know I love. As for the juiciness of the pens, of course, aside from the one that came dried out, I was actually really impressed. For example, I was able to do this whole green area in one go without having to let the pen recharge. Overall, I'd say they look great on paper. They're very vibrant. They don't bleed through the other side, although they do leave some puckering. They performed good, but not perfect on the left-handed test. And as for our material testing, they worked good on wood. I did notice on the metal while I was letting it dry, it started beating up a little bit. However, once it fully dried, it did not rub off, although it did scratch off. As for glass, it started beating up here even quicker than it did on the metal. And unfortunately, it did start to rub off pretty easily as well. But with that said, it did perform well on fabric and on our 3D prints. As for the price, full transparency, I have no idea what these are going to cost you. The normal price is like $230. They're currently on sale for $216. Last week I saw them on sale for like $160. And somehow when I bought them, I got them for $79. To be honest, at the price I got them at and for what I use them for, I really like them. But at $230, it might be a different story. I'm really torn how to rate these overall. I think I'm going to give them a 6 out of 10, and part of me feels like that's way too low and part of me feels like that's way too high. But let me know what you think in the comments and if you would ever buy a set of paint pens this big.